Good morning all, Larry BL here, and we're going to attempt to remove the wiring harness from the Mule. I went ahead and pulled the tires and got it up on jack stands so we can get a more in-depth look. Definitely going to have to be labeling some wires and checking out why some are disconnected. Over here we do have a rat's nest, but if you can see that we got to figure out what's going on there. We have some issues going on there. I've been following some wire diagrams. I think I got one that's close. This is a brake switch. Headlight harness is self-explanatory, but we've got something down here that is bypassed, and this is the shift lever, and I'm assuming there's a switch. No, that actually goes to the brake switch. So they bypassed something on the brake switch there. We got something disconnected there. So what I've done is I've emptied this camera. I got some labels, a good sharp Sharpie. So as I take a picture, I'll label the label number 1 and wrap it around the wire that I disconnected with associated picture to show where it went. And like I said, I went on and did some screen captures and got some diagrams. So without further ado, we are going to try to get this wiring harness removed from this vehicle. I'll get back with you shortly. Well, here it is. As I disconnected each wire, I labeled it and even routing. So I put a number on it. That's the number of the picture I took of that connector. There were some connectors that weren't plugged into anything, so I'll have to figure those out. But the reason I got it out here is we're going to go into repair mode. I do have the wiring diagram for this, so we will figure this out and maybe find out why some wires are burnt. I think it's probably because they did this. Yeah, definitely this is definitely off the regulator charge circuit. The connector looks good, so yeah, I'm going to have to repair that. So I think overall this thing is repairable. Yeah, so I got it out and it's labeled. I even took Scotch tape and went around these labels just to get them to hold on better, and we're going to work on this. All right, after the wiring harness was removed, got to looking at it. So this is the positive battery cable right here, and we've got a negative battery cable right here. I have a connector on the negative. Let me get the camera set here. This is I'll be using that because over here on the engine, what we have is, this is the kill wire to the magneto. So I'm just going to run a jumper over to the negative battery terminal, and I put a switch on it. Probably just use a clamp to clamp it to the frame somewhere. This is the stator for the charge circuit. We're not going to mess with that. The positive wire is still hooked up, and then under here there's a little spade terminal. I'm going to hook a red wire up to that, because once the battery's hooked up, that's the only thing that I'm going to need to spin the engine over after I change the oil. So before we get all that done, I'm going to go ahead and pull the gas tank out and flush it out, probably put a different fuel filter on, a temporary fuel filter for right now, and iron out the problem with the fuel pump, and probably go ahead and just take this dirty deal off here and just leave the carb open, because I'm going to be running it in here, and yeah, I might want to get some more of that dirt out of there. But anyhow, I should be able to fire this engine without the wiring harness. That's the good news. So we're going to give that a try, and also work on repairing the wiring harness to go back in. I'm going to pull the dash off and check the switches. Does have an hour meter and it's still working. And if you can see that, that's what the hour meter's at. That's pretty lot of hours, I think. So anyhow, that's the game plan. I'll probably work on the fuel system tomorrow. Thanks for watching.